That's the paradox. The person who cares about all these issues in the world, all these unfair situations, all these rights issues, all these discriminations, he is powerless to affect it. He cannot really do anything, cannot do much about it. But a person who ignores it and focuses on himself and grows in power, grows in value, grows in strength, eventually he obtains power and can really influence all these situations. So he didn't care then, but now, not only does he care, he can also change it. While the person who did care still cannot change it. That's the paradox. Hey everybody, Lean Eater here. Welcome to my healthy Keto Mukbang. I have prepared this wonderful feast for you here today. It's KFC, Keto Fried Chicken. I actually managed to do this and it works. It's a Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe. It's that same mix of spices, but it works on a ketogenic diet. It's made from almond flour, whey protein, and Parmesan cheese, and a mix of herbs and spices. It tastes so freaking good. I can't wait to dive right in. As usual, first things first, prayer and affirmations. Right. I mean, this thing is just like the real one. 1 second. Should be eating here. Let's start with one drumstick to see how it turned out. This, of course, is a more tender, juicy meat than the strips. Still, I kinda prefer the strips more. Let's add some hot sauce. Just personal preference. Many people prefer drumsticks or drumsticks or wings. I prefer the strips, but try some drumsticks just to compare how it turns out. So today, I actually want to talk about this topic from self-development, self-growth, which is quite old, and it's from an old book called 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. It's quite an old classic of personal growth and self-development literature. And nowadays, personal growth is like this huge field with so many options. It's like a 5-star buffet. You just see all these opportunities, all these dishes, you cannot really know what to try first. It's such a variety. So all these books, coaches, programs, there's so much. But there are these core thoughts where one simple thought affects so much of your life, and implementing one simple habit or one simple thing can make a huge change, which will override the need for many different coaches and programs. And this is what I want to talk about today. So Stephen Covey, he has this concept of area of your influence and area of your concern. And nowadays, you often get distracted by all these events, all these happenings in the world. Something's happening. We don't like oppression. We don't like some events that happen somewhere. We don't like that people get oppressed, people are in trouble, that crises happen, that certain situations, bad situations happen. And we get caught in these headlines. We get angry, we want to do something, protest or something affected, we talk about it. The thing is, do we really have any influence on what happens? Not really. Like if you're just a regular person, just a regular student, or a person who works at a day job? Can you really do something about a humanitarian crisis in some African country? Or about oppression of people in China? Or about female rights? Whatever. Can you? You don't have any influence. You don't have much influence here. This is so good. It's the same taste. It's KFC, but on keto, no carbs. Absolutely wonderful. Anyways, you have no real ability to change it or influence it, but you get affected by it, you think about it, you care about it, and that's the mistake so many people make these days. Instead, what you should focus on is the area of your influence. What you can influence, what you can control, what you can do something about it. For example, you might be unable to change the fate of the world, to affect people who are in a crisis somewhere in Africa, in dozens and thousands lacking access to basic human needs like food and fresh water. But you can go and help one person on the street who is homeless, buy him a lunch or whatever. Maybe give some care and attention to your elderly relative. So, people tend to focus on things they can't control. And it kills you literally, because the more you think and focus on your area of influence, the more you grow. The more you focus on the area of your concern, the more you shrink, both in terms of your mental, like interpretation of the situation and your attitude and your core beliefs, and in terms of your ability. If every day you are faced man, this is just so finger-licking good. If every day what you do is you keep facing situations you cannot control, you cannot influence, every day you suffer because something happens and you have no way to change it. And it's true. You might suffer because something happened and you have no way to change it. For example, I don't know, a situation happens in your country, or your relative gets sick, or you get fired, or you get reduced in your salary to a lower position because of coronavirus, whatever. Like, you cannot influence it, but if you keep focusing on it, every day you keep facing your futility of your actions, you keep facing the fact you are worthless and basically impotent, powerless to change something. If, at the other hand, every day you focus on something you can change, you work on yourself, you develop yourself, you try to help people in need around you can help, you try to grow your value, your worth. In that case, every day you face a reality you can control. You are successful, you advance, you achieve something. So in the first case, your perception of your power shrinks because you see, I'm powerless, I cannot do anything, I can't do anything. In the second case, your perception of your power grows. You can see, okay, I changed this thing, I helped this guy, I became better, I earned more, I now know more, I can more. So every day you grow in your perception of what you can do. And you actually, by practicing this, and by helping, and by changing, and by growing, you actually physically also grow. more wealthy, more skilled, more knowledgeable, more valuable. So you obtain more power. 1 second. I'm sorry, spicy. And eventually with this power, you can actually change what you couldn't change before. That's the paradox. The person who cares about all these issues in the world, all these unfair situations, all these rights issues, all these discriminations, he is powerless to affect it. He cannot really do anything, can't do much about it. But a person who ignores it and focuses on himself and grows in power, grows in value, grows in strength, eventually he obtains power and can really influence all these situations. So he didn't care then, but now, not only does he care, he can also change it, while the person who did care still cannot change it. And that's a paradox. Would make sense that if you care, you care. If you don't, you don't. But the life works other way around. That's the curious thing about life. It doesn't always function intuitively. That's an unfortunate fact. Otherwise, like most people, will be successful. But unfortunately, the areas in life which require, which really lift you above the masses, intuition doesn't work there. The path there is quite counterintuitive. It's like in the Bible, it's like just conventional wisdom, really. The path of least resistance, which people walk, which majority goes by, leads to destruction. The narrow path leads to salvation. It's often so in real life. The path towards true success and achievement is not the obvious path everybody goes for. And sure, you might say, oh, but I can protest, I can state my position, I can go shout and carry a banner, and together we can change. Yes, maybe. But who do you think can execute more change? You? Or a businessman who owns businesses, newspapers, mass media, a popular blogger who has an audience of several million people? When you have money, when you have power, when you have influence, value, you can really affect the situation, you can really change it. For example, when you're in the Forbes top whatever list of wealthy people, and some crisis happens in Africa and you are saddened by it, you can send help. You have the money and the connections to send direct relief. But if you are just a normal citizen, you cannot. And that's how it works. If you focus on your circle of concern, on things that you care about, that to concern you, you will become weaker and weaker, and you will be able to do less and less. If, however, you focus on the area of your influence, you will grow stronger and stronger, and you can do more and more. I have a mustard sauce here and the garlicky sauce here. Both are amazing. And some hot sauce, always nice. And again, often it's hard not to care when you are affected. It's hard not to care how your boss thinks about you if it affects your daily job, your daily mood and your salary and your position in the company, or how your mother thinks about you, or how whatever. We are affected by economic crisis, by other crises in our country, by bureaucracy and all this crap. 1 second. Sorry. But what can you do? What can you do? Really? You can only focus on what you can control. For example, in Russia, many people worry about our national currency, the ruble, that it will fall related to the dollar, and our finances we have stockpiles set aside will vanish, will become less valuable. Well, buy dollar then and keep your money in dollars. But right now ruble is going up, so the dollar can also reduce in value towards euro. Then buy free currencies. You can still do something to affect. You cannot affect the exchange rate of the currencies or the worldwide situations which affect these changes, like the politics, the sanctions, all this crap. But you can choose how to invest your money. Keep your money in Russian assets, in European assets, in American assets. Choose. Same with your boss. You cannot directly influence his attitude, but you can do work properly. Show up, do all your obligations, all your duties, and defend your work in front of the higher superior, if you need to, if your direct superior is unfair. Same if you're at school, high school, university, and your teacher is unfair towards you. Again, all you can do is study properly, know your subject, do the assigned homework, and defend it in front of the teacher or in front of the hierarchs if it's necessary. When you focus on things in your control, you grow. When you focus on things outside of your control, you shrink. That's why, again, in my opinion, it's pointless to set goals which you cannot really achieve, which are out of your control. And most typical goals, like earn $1 million, buy a house, get a car, are something you cannot achieve. You cannot buy a car if you don't have money right now, and if the car is not next to you in the shop, because there might be no car for sale. You might not earn enough money. The money might be required elsewhere when you earn it. So much can happen. You can get into a hospital. You can lose your driver's license. Do you need a car then, if you cannot drive it? So on and so forth. A civil war can happen, and you will only care about getting the fuck out of this country as soon as possible. I'm sorry. very spicy. Like, so much can happen if your goal is to buy a car. You can't have a goal to work diligently, to work efficiently, to do your assignment properly, to work with all effort, to grow in strength, to work out, to diet, to discipline yourself, your mind, your soul, your body. That's in your control. But goals that lie outside your control, sure, it's good when you have a path towards, you move towards and you reach it. But if you don't, you never know if it's your fault or not. There's always a way to say, it's not my fault, or to say, to blame yourself for something which is not your fault. It's all confusing and it's all bullshit. So in my opinion, it's only worth setting goals which you have direct control over. Goals like, I will exercise every day, every week, several times. I will eat according to the diet. I will control my thoughts and my emotions according to my system. I will do my duties according to my plan, according to my commitments, and so on and so forth. Things you can control. And the more you succeed, the more you grow in power, the more self-confidence and just the more momentum you have going forward. So friggin' good. And that's like so simple. And one change can do so much for your entire life. One change. When you're concerned about something, when you're angry, when you are affected by something and you worry about it, just ask yourself, can I influence it? Do I have the power to change it? Is it in my zone of influence or not? And if it's not, well, alas, there's no point worrying about it. There's no point thinking about it. You can't change it. Move on. Or find some way you can. Like say you are deeply disturbed. Say you are disturbed deeply about the fact that in certain countries female rights are basically ignored, children's rights are ignored, maybe people don't have access to common basic needs, you're very worried about it. Well, what you can do, well, you can either volunteer for an organization which does some work for these people, or you can work on your own wealth and growth and you can accumulate wealth and value and hope to be able to contribute to these charities or make your own charity and fund it and help these people. Actually, affect the change. Again, say you have issues with your boss. What you can do is work properly, do your work, and if need be, go to a higher up, to a superior, and make a petition. Or say you have a issue with situation in your country, financial situation, how it makes hard for you to accumulate wealth and grow and prosper. Well, study your options, study successful people. Should your goal be to escape the country, so you work on the path which will lead you to being able to immigrate, or is your goal to earn wealth in this country and become wealthy enough that you can overpower this situation? Then again, your goal is to work on your wealth here, improve and grow so you can escape the situation. But study the way you can become powerful enough to influence it. And then do it. Find the path, zoom in on it, and follow it. This is so tasty. I don't know really what to say. It's so freaking good. At the same time, it's like, I feel it's too much. I thought I'm gonna have one serving at the lunch and one at the dinner, but I don't think I can eat all of this because it's so freaking huge. Really, like, I have all this still in front of me, but I think I'm quite well fed for today at this point. Like, really, it's quite good, but it's quite high in calories because in KFC it's some flour and some eggs outside the chicken. Here it's cheese and almond flour, so it's way more calories compared to typical flour. Anyways, that's what I want to talk about today. This one thought, this simple thought, you can apply it so easily. You just filter what you are worrying about, what you're doing. And if you filter what you do by this one thought, by this one principle, that you only concern yourself with things you can influence, it changes your whole life. You become so effective, so powerful, so quickly. And it solves so many issues and problems. It's like one simple principle, which goes so far. The book is quite good, it has many other important principles. It's quite a good read if you haven't read it. 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. But otherwise, even this one thing can change your life. It's insane. And so many people today don't notice it, don't know it. Even I myself, I found I sometimes make a mistake like this. I worry about things I should not, which are outside my influence and only concern for me. Anyways, I think I'm going to leave this for some other time because again, it's so many calories here, it's so freaking filling, like, it's insane. Right, thank you all very much for being with me today. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first one to know when I release another Keto Mukbang video. And then check out this playlist right here for more Keto Mukbangs you will definitely enjoy. I love you all and see you all again real soon.